I saved the best for last, guys. The Notorious, the greatest metalcore metal technique, the greatest technique of all time, the one that everybody wants to learn right when they hear it, right when they start playing guitar, is the pinch harmonic. There is a lot that goes into the pinch harmonic if you really dive in and like look at actually what you're doing, but they're pretty simple, and you guys are going to be able to play them after you watch this lesson, you practice them a little bit. You're going to get the pinch harmonics, so if you can't do pinch harmonics yet, then this is a pretty exciting day for you, because you're going to be able to do them after this. So the first thing that I want to talk about is just kind of what a pinch harmonic is. So a harmonic is going to be when you, there's different frequencies when you pick this a note. There's a lot of different frequencies going on. One of those frequencies is this harmonic sound. So if you can isolate that harmonic sound, then you get kind of a cool harmonic sound. So I'm doing this with my finger touching the top of the string above the fret on one of the naturally harmonic sections of the guitar, and then I'm picking. So when I'm doing pinch harmonic, I'm doing both of those, but I'm doing it all with the right hand, so I need two forms of contact. The two forms of contact are generally going to be the pick first, and then the section of my thumb, like right here, scraping that string right after, or just basically touching that string to make that harmonic sound come out. And you could also do it to where you're catching your fingernail and then hitting your pick or your thumb right after, and that'll also get the same sound. So it's essentially it's just kind of one of these techniques that you gotta mess around with and see what works best for you. But I'm gonna give you guys some tips here in this lesson that are definitely gonna help out. So there's a couple ideas that I want to talk about gear wise that's gonna help with these pinch harmonics to be easier to isolate. And the first thing is gonna be making sure that you have a decent amount of gain on your amp turned up to where those pinch harmonics are going to sound the way that you want them to sound. Another factor is your strings. Like the gauge of the strings matter a little bit, but specifically having not necessarily fresh strings, but not old muddy strings. So if you haven't changed your strings in a while, or this is a guitar that's been sitting around for a while, you haven't played, go change your strings and then start trying to mess with the pinch harmonics, and you're going to get a crispier sound when you actually isolate that pinch harmonic. So first, what I want you to do is get rid of your pick, and I want you to just take your thumb and hold on, we got to find the sweet spot first. So you can use your pick here, take your finger, start picking that, and we're going to do this on the bottom string. You can, if it's hard on the bottom string for you, mess around with maybe the D or the A string and see if it's a little bit easier. But the pinch harmonic that we're going to add into this riff today is going to be on the bottom string on the 7th fret at the very end. So find the sweet spot by just picking this string and then kind of have your finger just barely touching that string and move it across the string until you can hear that. See, you hear that? It's right there by my pickup there. That's kind of my sweet spot. It might not be the same for you, but find where that sweet spot is. And there might be a couple spots that you could isolate that sound different. So maybe find the one that you think sounds better, or maybe there's one that does ring out a little bit more. So try to find that sweet spot real quick, and then get rid of your pick, and then just take your thumb right over that sweet spot and just start scraping it and see if you can get some sort of harmonic sound, okay? Because that's essentially what you're gonna do. You're basically gonna be scraping. You're not gonna be picking necessarily, at least the way that I do it. I don't necessarily pick, it's more of a scrape. It's kind of, I hope I'm explaining that well, but it's essentially more of a scrape, and I'm almost like just digging in to that scrape. So kind of see if you can get just a little bit of a harmonic sound with your thumb, and then grab your pick, and we're going to do that same thing with the pick. So I don't want to have a lot of my pick showing. I just want to have like the very tip showing, because I know that I need to hit my thumb immediately after. So I don't want to have too much of that pick sticking out, because then my thumb's going to be too high to actually touch that string. So now basically do that same thing that you were doing with scraping with your thumb, but have that pick right there and include that pick in. Also too, that is something that for me that has helped out is I'm not picking like straight like I would normally with if I'm just normally picking like some notes. I have my pick actually turned a lot more, so I'm kind of essentially picking on the like the very edge of this. And when I first started trying to get these, I had my pick turned all the way to the side, and for some reason I was able to get them easier that way. But now I can kind of adjust it and make it happen like other ways. So try to adjust that pick angle too if you're not getting it, and just see if that's going to be a factor, if there's like a better spot or a better like position to pick from or angle to where you're able to hit that thumb and kind of hit that harmonic right. Again, we're going to be playing that pinch harmonics on the 7th fret of the low string. So when you push down on a fret, you want to make sure that you're as close to that fret as possible. So the fret that we're going to be, the fret is the one that's closer to the pickups, not the bridge. So as close to that metal fret as you can. And then try to not push down on the fret and then pick. Try to do it at the same time. That seems to isolate that harmonic a lot easier and a lot better, and generally they sound better, at least in my opinion, when I push down at the same time versus having that fret or that string pushed down and then doing the pinch harmonic. And the vibrato is almost like a staple for most pinch harmonics, but if I suggest that you guys get the pinch harmonic down and then start adding that vibrato in later on, but eventually you're definitely going to want to add that vibrato in. And I suggest just messing around with these pinch harmonics for a while until you get them, and I promise you that if you do this for a little bit, you're gonna get the pinch harmonic, and then it's just a matter of just getting really, really good at them, very consistent at them by practicing them and incorporating them into your riffs and learning riffs that include pinch harmonics.